Hello and welcome BitMonger family, Jay Monger with you here today. Hope you guys are all doing well. And in today's video, I am going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at average dollar costs for different segments, different holders, different groups to get an idea of where max pain might be hitting in the event we get more capitulation. And we did see a big sell-off. It was at 91K this morning, looking pretty solid, and then all of a sudden it just dumped, and it's currently trading at $86,231 right now. And I kind of have been preparing for this. I don't think we've seen complete max pain yet. I do think we could go down for a further shakeout to really test people. That's what the markets tend to do. And Bitcoin is really good at doing that. And so we'll be looking at what prices that might be at based on average buyers' prices, because that's usually the line in the sand for a lot of people. Is when they start to go underwater, they panic. So, mean reversion type of thing to get people to shake them out. It could be going down to those levels. And so those are things to be mindful of. In terms of where it could go and where you might be wanting to deploy capital, because we want to be buying the fear, we want to be buying the weak hands, the people that sell off in a panic, and that's how we generally win with investing. So that's what I will be doing in terms of my crypto. And I'm also going to be sharing with you guys today my stock portfolio, which is kind of interesting. If you guys know, back in 2022, after the whole, I took profits. Luckily, I was able to take a bunch of profits off the table, and I bought a bunch of stocks. I diversified. I had previously been extremely heavy in crypto, and I got lucky in a way in being able to capitalize on that 2021 pump, and I took profits. I wasn't going to be a bag holder. I saw what happened in 2017. 2017 I benefited from that one as well. That was more of luck. In 2017 I took cash out because I had held XRP, and that fucker ripped at the end of 2017, and I took money off the table and I bought a condo in Bangkok with it. It was an underpriced condo. I had been looking around, and it just so happened it aligned up perfectly. It was completely luck. If I hadn't found that condo, if it hadn't come on the market at the time, I probably would have been a bag holder and rolled that fucker back down. And anyways, I saw that happen, and I realized how volatile it was. I saw that profits can completely evaporate. So I took profits, and I invested in the stock market. So I'll be sharing with you my extremely diversified stock portfolio. I won't be going it into too deep, but you'll be able to see what I got, and you can do your own research on them. I'm not going to be giving a complete breakdown on how I am invested in each one. That's not for today. I don't know if I'll do that. I don't really feel too comfortable doing that, but I'll show you guys what I'm doing. And just so you guys know, none of this is financial advice, of course. So first of all, let's take a look at what I'm holding in my crypto folio, because I keep these things separated. As I told you before, I did go in. I sold off a lot of my main Bitcoin because I'm paranoid, and I bought IBIT back in the when it came out. So and I did that just to protect myself. Because you just never know. I mean, I did a whole episode on people getting kidnapped and the dangers of self-custodying Bitcoin. So you have to be very careful about that, especially if people know that you were an early investor. So I just did that living overseas. It was just felt the right thing to move. So anyways, here's my crypto portfolio right now. Currently it's looking like this, and you can see I shaved off my bags. I told you guys, it's been over a month now. It's probably been about 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks now, where I completely saw that Bitcoin got rejected off 116K. Then I saw it crossing that 120-day moving average on the daily. And looking at my back testing, I figured, hey, it's time to get out of the market. So I took a huge chunk of money off. And you can see right now, currently, I'm, practically 50% in dry powder, about 34% in Bitcoin, about 11% in Solana, and then my assorted shitcoins make up about 3% of my portfolio. And that's how I'm doing it right now, guys. So let's go ahead and look at the Bitcoin cost analysis. This is interesting. So it breaks it down into cohorts. We can see these long-term cohorts greater than 155 days. The average cost basis is between 25 and 30K. So these were people that, got in, I got in earlier than that, and I've been holding my Bitcoin a lot longer than 155 days. But anyways, we can see this is their average cost basis right here. So I don't think it's going down there, guys. I mean, it possibly could, but I don't see that happening. Short-term holders, less than 155 days, we can see 85 to 90K. So we are right on the edge of these guys getting, losing their shit. If it drops below 85K, I would expect, people to be panic selling. And so that's a good area to be buying anything under 85K. And overall circulating supply, it's between 45 and 50K. But here's some better information here. We got spot BTC ETF buyers, okay? IBIT. These people, right now, the average holder is at 84K. So this is another area in which I would be looking at. So, like I said, 84, 85K. Starts dropping below this, people are going to start feeling pain. MicroStrategy, big fucking honeypot. We know that they're going after them. If you've been following the news, they're at 74.4. Overall institutional, U.S. institutions overall, 90K. Now this one's concerning, guys, because these are those DATs. These are those digital asset treasury companies that I had been showing you guys before about how they were, just gobbling it up. And their cost basis is at 90K. These guys are underwater. My biggest concern, as I mentioned before in previous videos, is that these digital asset treasury companies that bought in way too high, they could potentially start to dump if it gets bad, if they panic. I don't know how that will be, but that is a concern, and that could cause a cascade of liquidations to push the price down quite far. So it's something that we gotta consider. Could it come down here and test this? I believe it could. I do believe it could. Let's take a look at another one. And this is another one. What is the current average cost basis for a Bitcoin holder? And currently, its realized price for all Bitcoin holders is approximately at $56,400. So this would be clearly the max pain point. If it were to get down there and drop below that, technically, previous bear markets, it has gone under these, dipped under these points to cause pain. So could that happen as well? It certainly could, guys. Now that would probably happen that would probably have to happen in conjunction with the stock market taking a massive dump, and that's another concern, because we've already seen Bitcoin's kind of like, Bitcoin might be the canary in the coal mine. It might be of showing us what's about to come. Stock markets have been ripping. They could pull back massively, and that would only cause, it could potentially cause Bitcoin to have a massive dump. Now, I want to believe that these Wall Street ETF holders are rational and not going to be lettuce hands and dumping, but I don't know if time will tell. Time will tell. So those are the prices I'm looking at. We're looking at, it dumping under 84K, which it looks like it's wanting to go down there and test that. The next point that we had was like at around 75K, 74K. I think that was the previous one where it went down to in the last crash. What was that, on Liberation Day? And then we have this number here, 56K. So, these are numbers that I'm going to be looking at, guys, to redeploy my capital. And, hey, if it doesn't get down there, no problem. I'm looking at it this way. As long as I can recoup the Bitcoin that I sold off and have that cash left over, I'm completely fine with that. I'll stick that cash in the meantime in a money market or a dividend paying stock, and just, ride that. Some sort of low volatility dividend stock, or even a money market. I don't care. I don't mind sitting on it. It's a win. As long as I get my Bitcoin back for much cheaper than I sold it for, I consider that a win. All right, so let's take a look at the stock market now. So we're seeing right now the NASDAQ futures is looking like it's going to open up in the red. So that's maybe what, Bitcoin is front running this possibly. We can see these are all down. Asia is green except for the Nikkei. Japan's having, some puking. Japan's got some issues. Europe's in the green. So we'll just have to see. But right now it looks like it's about to go down. So let's take a look at my portfolio and how I diversified my crypto winnings in 2022 and what it looks like today. I got quite a few stocks. I got 33 on my list here. So let's take a look at them. So this is what it's looking like. This is a Swedish company. They're really big into what was it that they did? They are into heavy construction, centrifuges, and stuff like this. Okay, heavy industry. So they've been around for a long time, and they're solid. So it's something I diversified into. I don't expect this one to make a huge amount of money, but you can see, since I bought it, roughly it's up 80%. I'm quite okay with that, man. Let's go back and see what else we have here. Okay, watch this. Okay, Alphabet, Google. This one's been fantastic. It's been ripping. Amazon, hey, staple. These guys are massive. Apple. I bought some Bank of America just because I figured I would buy some banking stocks. I've held these for quite a while, guys, and I did this on some recommendations from other people at the time, and most of my holdings are in tech, but I did diversify quite a bit. Berkshire Hathaway, I bought that one. Warren Buffett, yeah, he's going out, but the guy is a master, so I bought that stock. Cisco, tech company, they make all the routers. Coinbase, that's a newer one. Corning, Costco, Deere & Company, Enbridge, Home Depot, Invesco, QQQ, the iBit, JP Morgan. And I bought that a long time ago, but I do hate Jamie Dimon, but they're a behemoth, and sometimes you want to own your enemy. McDonald's, this is a staple. This is just a good indicator. Not a huge position, but I just have it because it gives me a read on what's happening. Micron Technology, they've been wonderful. Microsoft, Nvidia, Oracle, Packard. These guys make big rigs, semi trucks. Robinhood, Strategy. And just so you guys know, Strategy, you want to keep an eye on this one. If it goes below its NAV premium, meaning that they're holding more Bitcoin, the value of their Bitcoin is worth more than their stock. If it goes negative, that's usually a good buying time. So I would be looking at that. Currently, it still is above. There is a slight premium right now. If it goes negative, well, then that's a time that you might want to be buying it. Taiwan Semiconductor, You know, this company is just amazing. People, if you're unaware of it, they make the best chips in the world. Their technology is highly protected. They've been trying to they're moving some big branches over to Arizona outside Phoenix. But this company is just amazing. They have, you know, the United States and basically the Western world by the balls with their technology. And it's, you know, one that I like to own, knowing how powerful they are. Take-Two International, they make Grand Theft Auto. Their stock hasn't been performing that well because they haven't released their game in ages. I believe when that game is released, this stock will get a nice pump. Of course, Tesla, Travelers, massive insurance company, Vanguard 500, the S&P 500, total stock market, and Verizon. And Verizon was a recent purchase. I bought Verizon because it's a really good dividend-paying stock. Telecommunications. We can look a little bit at it more here. You can see that they are paying a 6.7% dividend, which is quite good. It's not very volatile, and it's just a massive telecommunications company. So, you know, I figured I'd slap some of my cash in there and have it earning dividend. Ultimately, that's my goal. You know, in the future, as I get older, I will be taking, you know, more and more profits and putting it into dividend-paying stocks, just because less volatile, you know, dividend stocks. I'll still keep my cutting-edge stuff. I'll still hold that for a longer term. And but generally speaking, as you get older, you want to diversify more. You want to have money, you know, in many different places to protect yourself. And I like the idea of earning a passive dividend. I mean, you know, if you can make 6% on realty, I think that's the kind of the rule of thumb for the most part. You know, if I can make that on a well-run, you know, high cash flow company that it's not that volatile and it is growing, I mean, that's a winner to me, man. As I go forward, I will allocate more into dividends-paying stocks, just to be on the safe side, because it just makes sense. I'm getting to an age to where I don't really want to be taking super high risk. I want to have positions in high risk assets that can perform well, but at the same time, I also don't mind having, you know, more of my capital in less volatile, high, you know, dividend-paying stocks that allow me to live in Thailand comfortably. So that's my goal. Everybody's different. Sometimes you got to take the big risk. The only way I managed to develop this portfolio was because I sold off my altcoins, primarily all my altcoins in 2022. I took profits, and this is what enabled me to build this kind of portfolio, guys. Anyways, hope you're all doing well. I hope that was insightful. Leave some comments in the below if you got some value out of it, or your opinions on where we're going in the market or prices, anything. Love to hear what you guys have to say. All right, gonna leave it there. Monger on.